¿Qué es Música por un Cambio? Música por un Cambio es un proyecto dedicado a combatir mediante la música el racismo y la discriminación en México y en Estados Unidos. Esta serie de recitales invita a la reflexión y al cuestionamiento. Música por un Cambio busca que nos demos cuenta de la realidad que existe en el mundo y que hagamos algo al respecto. Mediante la música de compositoras y compositores mexicanos y afrodescendientes, así como conocer la opinión y trayectoria de cada uno de los involucrados, Música por un Cambio busca sembrar una semilla de lucha, de conciencia, de amor y de humildad en todos nosotros. No hay que dejar que sea solo un ideal. Hagamos acciones. En esta serie existen dos asociaciones involucradas, Racismo MX y Castle of Our Skins. Nosotros podemos apoyarlas a que continúen su ardua labor. Para ello, podemos realizar donaciones mediante PayPal. Todos necesitamos un cambio. El mundo necesita que cambiemos. ¿Qué nos hace falta para hacerlo? Que la música sea el cambio que el mundo necesita.
Hi, my name is Armando Ortiz Montenegro. Today in Música por un Cambio, we are going to hear the first part of a great performance of my dear friend and amazing violinist, Maya Giles. She is going to perform a piece by the great American composer Kimo Williams, the piece Quiet Shadows. I hope you enjoy, and this is Música por un Cambio. Let's begin.
James Kimo Williams was born in Amityville, New York, and grew up on military bases as the son of an Air Force dad. In May 1969, just before enlisting in the US Army, he attended his first major music concert, Jimi Hendrix playing at the Waikiki Bowl. He was so inspired by this concert and the music of Jimi Hendrix that he dedicated himself to music and playing the guitar. After returning from Vietnam, Kimo earned a Bachelor in Arts in Composition from Berklee College of Music in Boston. He also holds a Master in Arts in Management and Human Relations from Webster University. Kimo's compositions have been performed by the symphonies of Detroit, Atlanta, Savannah, Philadelphia, Indianapolis, Alabama, and Dallas, among others. Many of his compositions are inspired by his experience and interest in the military, including the award-winning Symphony for the Sons of Nam and his piece Buffalo Soldiers, American Soldier, that was commissioned by the West Point Military Academy in 2002. He co-founded the Lieutenant Dan Band in 2003 with the actor-musician Gary Sinise. Their primary goal was to perform shows for active duty service members. Throughout his band, he has traveled to Afghanistan, Kuwait, Korea, Singapore, Diego Garcia, Germany, and other military bases to support military members. Kimo is an avid award-winning photographer and owns a gallery in Shepherdstown. His works have won several awards dating back to the early 1980s. His photography has been featured in the Smithsonian Magazine, National Geographic Editor's Choice, and the National Veterans Arts Museum in Chicago. He is currently a National Academy of Recording Arts and Science advocacy member, representing the state of West Virginia to the 116th U.S. Congress. Hey Maya, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I am very, very, very excited. I mean, you are here with us, and after you performed, oh boy, this is getting better and better by the second. Well, anyways, Maya, tell us a little bit more about yourself. The people, the audience wants to know you, please.
All right, amazing. I'm Maya Giles. I am a current Boston Conservatory student, and I am about to be a senior.
And tell us, Maya, um, what what has been your experience with this music? Like doing the research, doing the all of the process that involves performing a new piece.
Sure. So I'll definitely start with the research part because it's kind of funny how, we know Beethoven, we know Brahms, we know all these significant composers, but it speaks a lot when you have to do research just to find like living composers that are not of white descent. So like it was definitely interesting because this is the third time I've done research to seek out a contemporary living composer. My first time was my sophomore year, music history 4. We were asked to write a paper about a living composer, and I was determined to find someone who was Black. Originally, I wanted to find a Black woman like myself, but I soon grew very frustrated because I couldn't find anyone. What was more disturbing was the fact that I didn't even know where to start. It wasn't even like you could just type it into Google. It was like something you had to go much further, and the fact that I had never been given any resources as to where I can find composers like this, it grew very frustrating to the point where I was almost ready to give up. But then I was able to find a local composer, Anthony Green, in Boston. He started a organization called Cast Over Our Skins in Boston to really put Black classical composers in the forefront, both in the past and the present. And so it was nice to reach out to them. I was able to interview them in person. It just was amazing. But I remember that frustration. The second time I went to research for my recital, I knew I wanted to play one Black composer's composition. And that's how I stumbled onto William Grant Still. And I was lucky that my violin teacher, Lin Chang, actually performed his piece and has a beautiful recording. So as far as research, I knew going in, I'm like, okay, this is going to be hard. And it was hard in a challenging way. It was like I wasn't afraid to go for it, but it was definitely a nuisance in the sense that I can tell that people were purposely burying these composers' works, because it wouldn't be that hard to find if they weren't, you know? And that's where it was like this little fly in the back of my head, where it was just annoying, because you know that this was done with like malice or purpose. So it was very difficult for me to initially find composers, especially Mexican composers, because now I'm like, oh shoot, like, you know, like here's something I've never been exposed to. I'm so ready to jump into it, but I'm like, oh my God, it was already hard to find like Black American composers, let alone, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So as I was doing my research, it also grew a little difficult because I had a list of people on both ends of some ideas of who I wanted to look up. But between like, you know, websites being outdated, and or like there was hard to find contact information, or if I did, I recognize that unfortunately like violin isn't that popular of a you know, instrument to find in contemporary works. You know, everyone, you know, team viola, you know. So I was like, okay. But the pieces I've found, I mean, beautiful. I was definitely intimidated with the whole contemporary classical works as well, because I had never really performed. I've collaborated with composers on campus, but not very often. And so this was my first time really seeking out contemporary works, and I was a little intimidated because I felt like, you know, I'm still a growing musician, that I haven't even mastered, you know, the greats yet. That I'm like, okay, how am I, you know, I feel like I was very intimidated, but when I found these pieces, I felt attracted to them because I'm like, okay, I can do this, I can play this. But also I really liked, you know, what they were giving back to me. And so, you know, this experience made me really think like, okay, you know, I mean, I related to it because, you know, I'm one of the people that been casted out by classical music, that is not welcomed. And I've always realized that ever since, you know, I started playing, and, you know, I started late, and as I got better, you know, there wasn't people looking like me anymore, you know, surrounding me, and there wasn't a very welcoming environment in that sense. And so just already finding these pieces, it gives me like a connection. And at the end of the day, it just reminds me that, you know, music is just about connection, and the fact that we are overlooking that based on someone's cultural background or where they come from. I do think that we are coming in a moment where our generation, where we can change that. It's going to take a lot of time, but as long as we keep our minds open to other people's point of views and outlooks on life, and that is included in music, whether you are a performer, a composer, you're into research, whatever, as long as you're involved in music, it's just about sharing, you know. And the fact that for so long, you know, certain people were like excluded from sharing their experiences, we're in a turning point where we can change that, and that starts by speaking up, and it doesn't even have to be with your voice, it's just, you know, through music, how you make decisions every day to say, okay, it's easier to go down this route, go with the familiar, but it's also the right thing to do to expose and to bring up people that haven't been able to share their voice. So I'm very positive about it.
Wow. I mean, I'm shaking right now. It's like amazing, amazing. I think you got the right spot when you said there's an easy way and there's a right way. It is very important for people to understand, and I hope that people would listen because you are full of wisdom. Like right now, it's it doesn't even fit in the camera. I'm
Thank you.
and I hope people do understand and do try to change because I'm gonna end this episode of this recital series, Music for a Change, or in Spanish, Música por un Cambio, with your wisdom. There's a
Oh,
right way and there's an easy way, and I applaud the way you think and I applaud the way you perform because you're right. You have your own voice, and the way you do research and the way you perform and the way you put yourself to be heard, it's just the right way. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for being part of this. And I mean, I hope you can keep changing the world the way you're doing it.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody that joined today in Música por un Cambio. I hope you guys enjoyed Maya's performance. Remember that tomorrow she's going to perform again here. Tune in. Don't forget that every recital is a two-part recital. And I hope you guys enjoyed the interview that we had with her. It was a blast. And also to know a little bit more about Kimo Williams. Look for his music and his photography. He's a very talented man. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow to the second half of Maya's recital. She's going to perform a piece by the great Mexican composer Javier Torres Maldonado. And also we're going to have the interview with Javier. He's a great person. You're going to love the interview. You're going to love him. And please also check out his music while you wait for tomorrow's recital. And after tomorrow's recital, just check everybody's music. Thank you for everybody that has joined and shared this recital series. Remember to follow us on our social media. I'm gonna put my hand here so I can add the social media to follow us on the social media and to share the series. Share it with all your friends, your family. This is a great work that a lot of people is involved on it, and I'm very happy to be sharing this moment with you guys. Don't forget to do your donations if you haven't done so, and if you want to do it again, of course you can do it again as many times as you want. Don't forget to do your donations to Castle for Skins and Racismo MX, these two associations that we are supporting and are raising funding for them. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, check out the other videos, and see you tomorrow for Maya's recital. My name is Armando Ortiz Montenegro. Let the music be the change the world needs. See you soon.